This next beer is called Some Bitch, Buford T. Justice. It's named after that.
Some bitch.
Some Bitch. So
Not some bitch, like some bitch. Just so people know.
Like,
Like, this is not some bitch.
yeah. So, and we love it when people order it. You know, hey, what do you want? What?
Some bitch. All right, welcome in. Here we are. It is another episode of Sippin' on the Road, hanging out today, and we are here in downtown Waxahachie. So for those of you that live in North Dallas, and like, where the hell is that? It's south of Dallas. So you're going to have to drive south of Dallas. But it's a great location, and we are at Railport Brewing here in Waxahachie. And I'm sitting here with Richard and Jacoby, and you guys have been here 10 years now, right?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10
We
years.
celebrated 7 years officially.
Okay.
But we've been here about 9.5 because it took us 2.5 years to get everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the licensing and stuff like that. It just takes time. So yeah.
It does take time.
Yeah.
So they are right here in downtown Waxahachie, and as you can see, we've got some beers. We're going to hang out as we always do, try some beer, and talk some beer with these two guys. So where do you guys want to start today?
We're going to start with Honey Hush. That's our flagship beer. Basically, our number one selling beer. In distribution, it's 95% of what we distribute. This is what we call the beer of Ellis County.
Okay. All
The
right.
2 years that were leading up to the opening, we just was going to any event we could, handing out free beer. Well, we got to a point, I was like, you know what, we're going to make something that is for Ellis County. At the time, Ellis County was not a bunch of IPA drinkers, stuff like that, you know, heavy drinkers.
Yeah.
So we would go to a sample event, and the recipe would be the same ingredients except for one thing. And they'd have cards. So they were able to sit there and tell us what they liked about it.
All right.
Okay?
Good.
So, for an example, you'd have a card, and it's same Pilsner malt, same Paradise seeds, but a different hop on 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cascade was what people liked. So, we went with Cascade.
Makes sense.
The Paradise seeds were just part of that. And then it was honey. That was the big one. It needed to be consistent. So then we got with Burwison's Honey here in Waxahachie.
Okay.
And they have a Texas Wildflower honey. Well, that honey is brought in from all over the place. It's blended and it never changes. So the beer never changes. We have a beer called Ellis County Pride that changes with the season because we use locally sourced honey.
Okay.
So that's where that name came from. So this beer stays the same. It's consistent. It's a good, easy drinking beer, and it's dangerous.
All right. Which one? Where are we going?
We're going left to right.
Left to right. Here it is. Honey Hush from Railport. I've had this before. It is very good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's got that little bit, because you do get the honey on it, but it's, again, I think when people hear, oh, there's honey in beer, I don't know about that. That's going to be weird or too sweet. But a lot of the times, to me, when there's honey in beer, it's more of a subtle, just light sweetness on the back that you kind of get that stays with you a little bit, but not too much.
So what kind of helps is we add a little bit of honey malt. So when we add the actual honey, it kind of gives it a subtle honey flavor.
Yeah, and you can tell on this. I mean, this is just really easy drinking, but it's got that nice. And I like honey malt. I like honey in beer. I think it works really, really well, especially this time of the year. Like when it's starting to warm up, since we're filming this in June and it's hot outside and it's only going to get hotter, this is a really refreshing beer. Good job, guys. You nailed it on this one. All right, so what's next?
So this is the big brother to Honey Hush, so to speak. Honey Hush came from Smokey and the Bandit. Jerry Reed said Honey Hush when he saw the Trans Am for the first time.
All right.
This next beer is called Some Bitch, Buford T. Justice. It's named after that.
Some bitch.
Some Bitch. So
Not some bitch, like some bitch. Just so people know.
Yeah, Some Bitch.
Like, this is not some bitch.
Yeah. So, and we love it when people order it. You know, hey, what do you want? What do you call it?
Some bitch.
So this is a blonde stout. So it's similar to our Tender Mercy, which is our sweet stout. So we finish this off, though, in the mash with honeycomb cereal.
Okay.
12 boxes of honeycomb cereal sit right on top of the mash, and it just stays on the mash. It's after we've mixed it up and everything. It just sits there. It's great when we drain the mash tun.
Yeah.
You just grab your hand in there and slice itself. Yeah. Almost like the pecans on a triple.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then we finish it off with cocoa nibs, vanilla beans, and oat chip soap and Jim Beer.
Okay.
That's how we finish it off. That's our dry hat on this beer. So you've got all of the crystal malts in there. We pulled out the dark malts. So some bond stouts are over coffee
Oh,
a little bit. Yeah,
very much so. Yeah.
You won't get that in this one. This
Okay.
is another nice, smooth, easy drinking beer. 8.2%.
8.10%.
Probably one of the most dangerous beers you got.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tasty. I like golden stouts, but I like vanilla a lot, and you usually get a little bit more vanilla when you get the golden stouts than you do on the dark stouts for whatever reason. And I think it's interesting too because a lot of people are like, how can that be a stout? It's not dark. But as you guys know, just because it's not dark doesn't mean it's not a stout.
Got all the other qualities of stout.
It does, and this is a really nice one here. That honeycomb, that's interesting. He's putting that right on top.
Yeah.
Just get a big spoon and have some delicious snacks while you're brewing beer.
Oh yeah.
That's what we do with the triple. We'll take some pecans, eat them when we're done with the mash and over to the boil.
Yeah.
We'll take the pecans right out the mash. They're good. Put it in a cup.
So this kind of the beer, because it's not like, for me personally, 8.2% is not crazy. You know, anything like over 10, you start getting a little up there. But I know some people hear like 7, 8%. Oh my gosh! But this is a type of beer because it is a little sweet on it. Of course, it's designed to be. These are the types of beers that to me I think are really good as like one of those sippers that you have. And I tell people all the time, you know, there, as you guys know, there are lagers that you'll hear me talk about on the show, like crushable and easy drinking, and you can have several of these. This is the other side of that. Yeah. Like, this is not the beer that you're trying to crush. This is the beer that you're trying to sit. You enjoy it. You kind of let it
warm up.
As it warms up, you're going to get a little bit different flavors on it as you're going to go through especially if you're drinking a 12 ounce or an 8 ounce of this for sure, you would get that. But you get a lot of flavor in this, and I think that these types of beers, I love golden stouts when they're done really well, like this one is, because of all those things that I just talked about. So if you see one, if you're out and about, Railport or wherever, and you see a golden stout, do yourself a favor and try one if you've never had it. Don't be afraid of the fact that it's not dark, because they're really good. All right, Richard, where are we going next?
We're going to our hazy.
Hazies. Delicious. All right, let's talk hazy.
We just had to get into the game like everybody else. I mean,
yeah, the haze craze was just going to be a
craze.
fad like 8 years ago.
And it's still around. When we started out and we started looking at this recipe, I started hearing things about New England juice bomb, New England IPA. That term's gone. It's just hazy. So it's morphed into this double dry hop stuff. So this is going to be more of a traditional Boston juice bombs.
Okay.
It's one of your original New England IPAs, and nice and smooth, grape-free, yeah. This is Jacoby Brewer's favorite right here.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's my first one.
Okay, yeah. What hop do you guys use in this?
Oh, and Amarillo,
Okay.
Simcoe, and Citra. Yep.
3 solid hops.
Yep.
Especially Simcoe. I love Simcoe.
Love Simcoe. Love Simcoe.
So there you go. You can tell. It's
Haziness with all the wheat malts and stuff. There's 2 different wheat malts in there.
It smells like good as a wet. The wine it sits, it smells like the powdered wine.
It's easy because
Yeah, and you can tell because hazies, of course, are usually a little softer, and this one is on your palate, a little bit softer.
Yeah.
Easy. You get a lot of that tropical citrus kind of kick to it, as you would expect. So, yeah, these are, I mean, hazies, as you guys know, have gotten, it's insane how popular they got. Because when they first started showing up, you're like, what is this? And then everybody, I mean, there are certain breweries, of course, in North Texas that basically all they do is hazies. And you'll go in and they'll have 10, 12 hazies on tap. It's just variety of hops and how they added it to the boil and what process they want to use them. They can be completely different. But
well, it's crazy because like one of the biggest turn off looking at it is the clarity. You go to it's not as clear as like beer they're used to drinking.
Right.
So and they see it, they're like, I don't know
if that's easy or not because they're used to the Nova Grow.
Right.
Yeah. But then the flavor comes out and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, hazies, I mean, generally speaking, are usually a little bit more approachable, I think, for people that are afraid of IPAs, like that West Coast punch you in the face bitterness that I have always loved. But you start getting up in the range in the IBUs, and hazies are usually a little bit easier for people. So if you're, and I know the guy holding the camera right now is not always an IPA fan, but when you, like the guy I do my show with, Donnie, for instance, he does not like IPAs, but we have found some hazy IPAs that he likes. Although I have discovered if I don't tell him it's an IPA, if he drinks it, he'll like, you know, this is kind of good. And then I go, oh, so you do like IPA? He goes, oh, I thought that's what it was. I thought that was an IPA. I was like, no, you didn't.
That's happened a couple times.
Yeah, because people, like, in their brains, you'll hear IPA and you go, I don't like IPAs. So you're thinking old school West Coast hop bomb IPAs, and there's
thinking some
so many different.
Stone.
Yeah, something like that. Or like we were talking about Dogfish Head or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, that isn't necessarily like that. And a lot of the hazies, man, and you can get some that, and I know because you have people calling certain ones hazies and other ones, this is a juicy IPA.
Yes.
Man, and some of those juicy IPAs, it's, to me, there's no bitterness at all. It's like almost drinking straight juice. Yeah. So just because you see IPA doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be really bitter. So don't freak out. But yeah, this is very interesting.
And again, part of the fear of Ellis County is our IPAs. We don't add a lot of bittering hops.
Yeah.
And bittering hops are added right when you start the boil.
Yep.
That creates the bitterness. Most of our, like this particular beer, just about every bit of the hops is Whirlpool, so it's after the boil. So now you're getting flavor, aroma, not bitterness.
Yeah, which I think comes through really well in this, because this to me is not bitter. I mean, you get a little bit of it, just kind of that from the hops that you're talking about. You know, they give you that citrus kind of flavor.
69 that, yeah.
All right.
And then the dry hop cuts through.
Yeah, whiskey aroma and all that.
We don't do a day one dry hop like they're doing nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, we wait 4 days. We wait right towards the end of fermentation. Boom, throw the hops in there and let them sit for another 4 to 5, 6 days.
Nice. All right, we got one more on our flight board. So what is our fourth beer here?
I'm gonna let Jacoby talk about this one. This is his first recipe.
Okay.
Yeah.
As he comes out of the military in here and starting to do stuff and learn things, and love the name F Unit.
So this is F Unit, and F Unit comes from the term in the 60s, that was the diesel engine that drove the locomotives across country. And so it fit with our theme that we have here at Railport. And it's a West Coast IPA. Well, I say wet, yeah. East-West. Mainly locomotives used to go from east to west. Yeah. Right? So it fits, it all goes well. And this was my first recipe when I got here. It was like a year later.
Yeah,
It
was a funny story with this beer. So we brewed it the first time. It was great. But there's consistency as part of brewing. Hey, brew it again and let's see what happens. So he said, I'm going to feel some this. Well, he didn't subtract anything. So this beer got it for 13%.
It was bad.
All right.
It started at 9 and went to 13, and we said, we got to dial this back.
Yeah.
We still drank like it was 6.
Really?
It was bad.
Those are dangerous.
Yeah.
Those are dangerous.
It was so
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I was in the military, I was an engineman.
Okay.
So obviously that also correlates because
What was the final
F
score?
Unit engines.
3-1.
That's my kind of like forte.
Yeah.
So that was a good name for it. And then if you read in the description, it says suck, squeeze, bang, blow. That's all the strokes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow with all the strokes.
Yeah, that's all the strokes of the
Got it.
engine. So
G-rated.
G-rated.
The engine.
Yeah.
The engine.
But yeah, this is a good beer. It comes out 7.8%.
Okay. So yeah, you dialed it back.
We dialed it.
Yeah, we dialed it.
All right.
Drinkability.
Yeah.
All right. So what's in this one? What are the hops that we're looking at?
We're looking at
Lemon drop.
lemon drop
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the lemon drop.
as
Sriracha Ace.
Sriracha Ace, Simcoe.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, you never see Sriracha Ace.
Yeah. So it has.
Okay. Now,
it
okay.
has-
I was like, this is really interesting.
You're
Now,
getting ready to-
It
Sriracha
has
Ace
both
lemon
ends
drop
of the
are
spectrum.
very rare.
When it comes to hops, it
Yeah.
has both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, Sriracha Ace is a Japanese hop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting ready to
The
have
little
a beer
dill
that has
on
a
it?
Japanese hop and a little
Okay.
hop in it.
Awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, that is, man, I can probably count on one hand of all the beers I've had that have used Sriracha Ace. And that you just don't see that hop. And Lemon Drop, I've had a few times, and man, those are two really unique.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Well, so I smelled Sriracha Ace and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is
Yeah,
it's gotta be
very, I mean, that is
It is.
very
It is.
unique. Very unique.
It's potent. It's good.
Yes.
It smells great, and it works out in this beer.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a really interesting flavor on this because that's fantastic. So there it is. And this is F Unit.
F Unit.
F Unit. Nice.
He's a both coast PA.
Yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit. All right, so now we have two more. We're magically back with beer that just appeared. So we're start with this one.
We're starting with Caboose hop.
Caboose. All right, tell me about Caboose.
Caboose hop, the name comes from a caboose hop. So this is a smash IPA. Okay. Single malt, single hop. That's what smash means. So it's a Pilsner malt with Citra hops.
Okay.
It's 2 ingredients. With all these other beers and all the 8 ingredients in this one and 6 and 7 and this only has 2 ingredients. It's 8.7%.
Really?
One of the smoothest IPAs you're gonna have, but it has that 8.7%. Yeah. So this is the brewmaster's flavor.
Okay.
So, just a nice, subtle, grapefruity, just easy drinking.
Yeah.
8.7, easy drinking,
Sure.
8.7%.
Yeah,
And,
citrus is one of those all-time hops, man.
and caboose hop is a term in the railroad industry of an engine and basically the box car. So it's basically when they're moving things back and forth, the engine just grabs the box car and moves it over, and it's called caboose. Yeah, see it.
All right. Well, here it is.
All right, there it is. Caboose hop.
Caboose.
So we're using Pilsner instead of pale, so it's a little lighter. It's easy in color, so it's easier to look at.
It's absolutely age.
Yeah, I can see why. I can see why, because, man, that's almost 9%.
You want to say crushable, but
It doesn't drink like...
You want to say crushable, but you drink it in a pool.
Yeah, that's
really
really...
get out of the pool.
That's really like it. It really comes in nice. Yeah, if you had a few of these, you probably shouldn't be near water.
Yeah, popping it out of the pool.
Unless you're intentionally trying to not come back out of it.
just sit on the steps.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Some bitch.
You sit there and look at the stars.
But yet again, the bitterness, there's just a little bit.
Yeah, see, it's not like punchy, like it's not like resiny, like you're just gonna chew your face off or something. It's really like I think it is weird to describe a beer like that. It's crushable, but this is a super easy drinking because of that Pilsner malt. It's very light. You can tell it's light. 8.7, man.
8.7. There's a sneak up on you. And again, drinkability is our thing here. I mean, traditional styles, drinkability. We want people to enjoy the beer, drink it. We don't come out with a different beer every week or anything like that. No, it's just like people are coming here to looking for their favorites, and they have a sad look on their face when they walk in. The triple's not on. Yeah.
Like yesterday, we had a guy.
The rail porter's not on.
We didn't have Rail Porter.
We didn't have Rail
Porter. And he was.
He's like, that's it. Flip over and came on me.
So yeah. I mean, our customers are awesome, and they have their favorites, and we try to keep them on tap as much as possible. But
sometimes you can't get the right ingredients,
Yeah.
And we're not going to change something just because
Right.
we can't get that ingredient and stuff. So yeah.
Making beer is not always easy, as you guys know.
yeah.
All right, so that is Caboose Hop.
Caboose
And then our 6th beer is this bat, which people keep telling me is going to be awesome. And I believe.
This is Southern Reds too. Okay. So this beer came about. It started with the Texas OU weekend. We used to release this Texas OU weekend. It originally was 13.3% alcohol. We had it in Crimson Red and Burnt Orange. We actually had that in Burnt Orange.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So we would release it.
And so, like, way more burnt orange kept getting drank. And you're like, well, we're just going to have to get rid of the crimson.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Then Texas goes in the spot. No. We're not going to go there.
When did that happen?
So in between a couple of coaches, no.
It's only for a
We're not
decade.
going to
Come
mention
on.
it. Yeah.
It's like 12 years. Jeez.
So no, during COVID, it was just like, okay, it was hard to get those grains and the color for the burnt orange. So I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do an Imperial Red IPA.
Okay.
So that's why it's red now.
Yeah.
So now what we do for Texas OU is we have a Marzen that we release. So that was a nice, easy switch. So yeah, which we had the Hookem ones on the Marzen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's got a Texas OU theme to it.
So explain red IPA for people that may not understand what
It's-
exactly that would be.
It's a maltier. It's the crystal malts that we put in there that makes it the red color. Malts. So basically malts, you'd have base malts, Pilsner, Belgian, tuber, stuff like that in your base mess. Then you have special ingredients, and those can be anything from crystal malts to wheat, dark malts, roasted barley, stuff like that.
We had the red wheat.
The red wheat, yeah, we would do the red wheat berries in this one. Different yeast will bring out those characteristics too. This actually has your lemon drop, your Southern Cross,
okay.
New Zealand,
Yeah.
and your Sriracha Ace.
Wow, Southern
Southern along with some Amarillo.
Southern Cross, if you know, is
Yeah.
it's hard to
Southern Cross
It's very.
They found a replacement for Southern Cross. It's a little different coming by.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah, it's New Zealand hops to me. Like, I was having this conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and it may not make sense, but I think you get it. Like American hops, a lot of the hops it feels like similar, right?
Yeah, it's
And
it's
New
4
Zealand
seeds,
hops,
yeah.
some of them are just so distinct. You know that when you were drinking a beer, like a smash beer, for instance, and you'd know that's Nels, or that's whatever it is, that they have, and they're so just distinct.
They got a better soil.
Yeah, and all of them are so good, man. Like I don't know that I've ever had a hop from New Zealand that I was like, I don't really care for this.
Yeah.
Southern Cross, I love that hop.
Yeah, Southern Cross, which you never see. Southern Cross is another one you never see that. So this is 3 hops in this beer of 3 hops that you rarely ever see anywhere. Of all the beers that I've had, again, probably a handful of beers ever have had. I've never had a beer that has these 3 hops in it. I can tell you that.
And you missed it, but a couple of years ago, we barrel aged this in a rum barrel,
Really?
and it
15%.
It was
Good
It
God.
was good, guys.
I bet that was really good though.
It was the best
And
thing.
now I can't get a hold of a rum barrel.
Yeah.
Really?
So I need a rum barrel looking
But
about.
it was the best thing ever.
So
What's the greatest thing ever?
What's the ABV on this?
9.6.
9.6.
9.6. It just
So how about 5? Of these small ones. Oh my goodness.
If we didn't tell you 9.6, you'd probably think it is.
No, it wouldn't be.
all this stuff is easy drinking.
Yeah.
This one has a little kick on the back end because of that high eyeball, so to speak.
That's man, you just don't have a beer that has those 3. It's distinct. I mean, this is really unique.
There's three different crystal malts.
Yeah.
We're using the 40, 60, and 120.
Yeah, that's good. I guess you guys can brew some beer, huh?
Oh, yeah. You can bring some beer.
Awesome. So before we wrap up, I always like to ask the question of how you guys got started, because anybody who has ever tried to open a brewery or get in the brewing industry knows that it is not as easy, I think, as people assume. Like, oh, that's great. You drink a lot of beer. You should open a brewery. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to tell my side first.
Okay.
So, he was brewing in the garage.
All righty.
And me and my friend, and he was brewing in the garage, and he would give us samples, and it was the worst thing you'd ever tasted in your life. Right? So, and then he obviously
No, we never.
created them.
Yeah.
I went
Okay.
to brewer school. So
All right.
if you're gonna open up a brewery, you just can't be a home brewer. No, you just have to know.
You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah. And my instructor, Peter, was a German maltster.
Okay.
He's the one that designed Allstat.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he was in the process of designing that while he was teaching our course. Internship included days at Martin House, Community, Oak Island. Oh my God, there's 10 of them. Humperdinck's, which was the coolest one. It's sort of
Way back.
the Humperdinck's gave us sort of an idea of the model,
Okay.
and then the size. We're a manufacturing brewery, which we should be pumping out, 15, 20 barrel batches, stuff like that, 30 barrel batches. We do 5 and 10 batches. But that was because I saw that bubble in the industry. It's like, man, don't go out and invest this much. You've invested this much, So, but the internship and just seeing the different things, and you have to make it your own. You have to make it your own. So, so I haven't go back to school. I was the oldest one in the class. So I was, hey, that was cool. But that's sort of how my journey really kicked in. Before that, it was homebrewing.
Yeah.
Technology background, market crashes in 2009. Overnight, you have to let people go and stuff like that. So you're an independent contractor, and then you're like, do I want to bring that back? And I'm like, no, I'm going to open up the first brewery in Ellis County. So that's where we sort of got started with me and Shannon, and y'all haven't met Shannon yet. So she's in there holding the fort down right now.
Nice.
Because we're family owned and operated. So
Yeah.
it's us. We have a good staff behind us. So, y'all bring in? Yep, bring one. Yeah, take over for it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I've always loved about breweries, and one of the reasons why when I travel, I try to go to breweries all the time is, to me, the best breweries are the ones that are the local, like truly local, that are trying to appeal to the local community, where's your neighborhood, and like we're almost like Cheers, essentially.
Yeah.
Like we're your neighborhood bar where you can come and hang out. And every brewery that I've ever been to, for the most part, I mean, there's some that probably this isn't true about, but for the most part, I think it's one of those things where you can go to a lot of breweries in the country. Like you could be not from here, walk into Railport, hang out, and have a friend.
Yeah.
You know, talk about beer, and that's why I love breweries and I love the beer community. Is it really is. You know,
That's her passion. It was the friendships that been made here. This is Shannon.
oh, Sharon,
Hi, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you. Welcome in.
Thank you.
And that's her passion. It's the relationships that have been built.
Yeah.
You know, people, and it is like, I mean, Troy walks in, Troy, Chad, it's just like we know everybody. You know, and everybody gets to know each other. Friendships are this maybe.
Yeah,
It's been
I think especially the Texas beer industry, and I know it's like this throughout the country, but in a place like DFW that has the population that we have, the breweries that are going to have success and last are the ones that connect with the community, like their actual hyper-local community.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that we're seeing that are having that success. And that's why I always tell people, like, get out, drink local. Most people in DFW live within 15 minutes of a brewery.
Yeah.
You may not know that you do, but get down there. And these, like we're talking about, people that a lot of the time started in their garage, had a dream, and this became what their dream is. And you got to support those dreams if you want to keep those things around, which is why we do all of it.
Then I take what you're doing with Sipping on the Road, and then just the Sip on Fridays. What Brian is doing with Beer and Big D, even Jeff Dietzman, he walks around.
Yeah.
So Brian and Jeff, they plan their weekend and they part ways and say, Jeff came down here to support us for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, Brian was up at Oak Highlands, built a new building. You know, so what y'all three do for this more Texas area is just great, and it's what we need.
Yeah.
You know, we need that voice out there.
Well, I appreciate it, man, and it's a passion of mine. And so I always wanted to, if you have a voice, to try to help people out a little bit. And, you know, radio is my dream, and brewing is your dream, and I like being around people that chase dreams, I guess. Well, Richard, appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Sharon, cheers. All right, we'll see you next time on Sipping on the Road. Get down to Waxahachie. It's Railport Brewing.
Cheers.
Some bitch.